The Viking Octantis is a polar-class expedition ship delivered to Viking in December 2021. The ship has a capacity of 378 passengers in 189 staterooms. It also has a capacity for a lot of fun and the capacity to deliver the most unique cruise itinerary I've ever heard about, a longitudinal world cruise. We did this fun cruise in fall 2023, all the way from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, down to the Antarctic. I have had the good fortune to be on 5 60-plus day world cruises with Crystal and Regent, and this Viking itinerary is a special and unduplicated itinerary. Viking's Octantis is 672 feet long and, importantly, 77 feet wide. It was designed to allow Octantis to use the Welland Canal to exit from the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. There are 7 things I really liked about the Viking Octantis 71-day cruise, and one thing that I was a little disappointed about. I will discuss this at length and show you my stateroom at the end of the video, so please stay tuned. The number one thing that I liked was the itinerary itself. 71 days and many great ports from Milwaukee, Wisconsin on down to the Antarctic. Some of my favorite port calls on this cruise were the Panama Canal. This was my 3rd trip through the Panama Canal, and it's exciting every time. We loved hiking to the face of Agostini Glacier in Agostini National Park in southern Chile. At the Bruggen Glacier, also in southern Chile, we had a rare opportunity to see glaciers calving. Further south in West Point Island in the Falklands, we saw beautiful rockhopper penguins. I love these things, as well as soaring albatross. As the cruise continued, we went to Grytviken, an abandoned whaling station on remote South Georgia. I had a chance to see the grave at Grytviken of the famous explorer Ernest Shackleton. Also in South Georgia, we visited Fortuna Bay and made some new friends. This big guy is an Antarctic fur seal. This bay may well be the prettiest place on the planet. On Antarctica at Yankee Harbor, we had some excitement with our Zodiac trapped in the ice. Antarctica was a milestone for us, as it was the 7th and final continent that we have visited on our travels. Second thing I really liked, the longitudinal itinerary resulted in very few time changes. This is a big plus. If you've ever been on a long cruise with, let's say, 12 to 15 time changes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The third thing I really liked, you guessed it, the food. At night at the World Cafe, they would grill you any steak you want to order. Believe it or not, we got tired of filet mignon and lobster tails after the 3rd day. A specially dedicated chef made this sushi every day. Look, I know that food and food quality can be quite subjective, but the Viking Octantis chefs, in my opinion, produced a better product night after night than any other cruise line we've been on, Crystal, Regent, or Ponant. And the desserts, oh my God, the desserts. How many different desserts can you try in one evening? I think every one of them is the best answer. We went on a 3-hour behind-the-scenes tour of the kitchen and storehouse, and there's one sign that best sums up how Viking feels about food. There are 2 specialty restaurants on the ship. My favorite, Manfredi's. They did a grilled lobster that is not to be believed. Number 4, and this is something most cruisers never think about, care after the cruise is over. By that I mean the journey from the time the cruise ends to the time you get on your plane. We exited our cruise in Ushuaia, Argentina, for a flight to Buenos Aires, then on to Houston. The ship picked up our luggage from our cabin door on the last night of the cruise and delivered our luggage to us in Buenos Aires. And they delivered our luggage right to the airline check-in gate. We had a private, escorted Viking charter jet from Ushuaia to Buenos Aires and a banquet in Buenos Aires in one of the airport restaurants before our flight home. Viking is tops on taking care of guests after the cruise, and no one else is close. Number 5, this is an adventure ship in every sense of the word. There are so many adventure toys on board in the ship's vast hangar. We were treated to 3 submarine dives in the ship's 2 6-guest submarines.
I think the only person that happier was
Many of our shore landings from Octantis were from their fleet of Zodiacs.
Yeah, definitely.
This Zodiac landing was during a snowstorm at Yankee Harbor in Antarctica. There were kayaks and 2 special-purpose speedboats. Science experiments were a regular part of each day on ship. And part of the adventure was exploring places I never dreamed I would ever visit. Number 6, I love the wild animal encounters in their own habitat. Frankly, I'd never seen a penguin outside of a zoo until this cruise. I had never seen an Antarctic fur seal until we met this one up close and personal. Many of the lectures on the ship were about the wild animals we'd be seeing.
Generally, people that are trying to explain something.
Number 7, there were lots of little unexpected surprises on the ship. There was an indoor to outdoor swim-through swimming pool. I visited the ship's surprisingly large spa every single day. The workout gym was way bigger than you would expect on a ship of this size. There was a snow grotto with, you guessed it, falling snow. And a couple of unusual after-workout showers. Here is the hide. It's in the belly of the ship, and frankly, it took me about 3 days to find out how to get to this place. Those windows let you look at the sea from the lowest level of the ship. Let me now show you our cabin, 4069. We booked the smallest cabin we have ever booked on a cruise ship, and it was, in a word, small. The cabin had about 220 square feet, had a window that went up and down. This is a drying closet for our wet Antarctic gear. Worked quite well. If you're nosy and you're wondering the cost of this small cabin for a 71-day cruise, well, I have the answer. The answer is, it was expensive. Look it up online. That said, when you consider price and quality and the adventure, this was a real bargain. Okay, there was one thing I did not like very much, and that is that we missed several port calls south of South America. We missed Port Stanley, the capital of the Falklands, and a couple of planned ports in Antarctica. In November, we were among the first expedition ships heading south to Antarctica. And apparently the November winds wreaked havoc for our ship and even the Zodiacs landing at these remote locations. So my take is, if you're looking for a once-in-a-lifetime cruise adventure, this is your cruise, and Viking Octantis, or its identical sister ship Polaris, are your ships. Viking is not paying me a penny for this video. So I can tell you from someone who's done a lot of cruising, Viking is an amazing company. Hey Viking, leave the light on for us. We will be back. If you like this video, please smash that like button, comment down below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe.